In the last section, we looked at let and const. In this section, we are going to look at arrow functions. And the main advantage of functions is code reuse, where we can call the same function multiple times using different parameters. And to define a function normally, we use the keyword function and we give our function a name such as say hi, and we include these brackets with some parameters such as name, and then we have curly brackets where we have a block of codes, and in this case we can output something to the console like console.log, and our function tells us to say hi, so I'm going to say hi, and here I can include hi, and then the name of the person that we want to greet. And then at the bottom here, we can call now our function with the value of our name. So calling this function here with the value here instead of name, we give it the argument now, such as Chaoo. And we can call this function multiple times. This is the advantage of a function. The main advantage, we can call it multiple times. We can say hi, we call it with a different argument such as codes or Charles. So I will run this function and you can see that now we have high Chaoo, high codes. It's because we call it multiple times and the same logic is used. So this is the normal way that we define a function. And using an arrow function, we don't change a lot, just trigger this function a little bit. The first thing that we omit is the function keyword. Instead, we use the const or let. And you use let when you want to redefine the function later, and const when you don't want to change this function anywhere in our application. And then after the name of the function, we include an equal sign, and then after our parameter, we include an arrow using the equal sign and a greater than sign to form this arrow. And that's it. This is how we define a function in ES6. So if I clear the console and run, we have the output hi Chaoo. And the same way we can call our function multiple times using different arguments. And to add on arrow functions, we can use different ways to define our function. For example, it is not a must to include this bracket when we have only one parameter. If we have one parameter, you just omit them, and if you run this again, you find that the output is the same. But if we have multiple parameters, like if I add a second parameter here, like name 2, and add it here also, plus name 2, and also include the value when we call our function. Maybe the name 2 is codes. We will find that when we run the function, we have our output Chaoo codes. So if we have multiple parameters, you must include these two brackets. But if we have one, it is not a must. Another thing that is common in function is that we have a return statement. So if our function have a return statement, maybe we want to find the sum of numbers like y plus 3. So if we have a return statement, so we must include the parameter here, the parameter y, and when calling the function, we must give our parameter a value, maybe a value of 3 also. And also remember to output this at the console.log, include the brackets that way. So if I clear the console and run, we have an output of 6. So this function is an arrow function with a return statement. We can shorten this further using a simple syntax where it is not a must you use the return statement, and you can exclude this curly bracket. So if I remove this curly brackets, you see that our function is very short and simple. And further, because we have only one parameter, you can get rid of our uh, brackets here at the parameter. And that's it. This function is very simple and easy to understand. So if you come across this syntax in blog posts or other tutorials, don't worry, this is perfectly fine. So if I clear the console and run, we have the same output. And that's it for the function.